This is possibly one of the funniest decks in Harry Potter Magic Awakens. We are talking about the Bellatrix deck, but with a twist. Our win condition revolves around a combination of spawning Death Eaters, the Firecrab Portkey combo and our dark spell Crucio. Let's start from the beginning. Bellatrix Echo ability allows us to spawn Death Eaters once her damage bar is fully filled. The damage bar is visible above your character, and each time it's filled, a Death Eater will spawn at a random location close to you. The first time, one Death Eater will appear, and with subsequent fillings, up to a maximum of 3 Death Eaters can be spawned. These Death Eaters unleash significant damage with the powerful Crucio spell. Bellatrix herself is already powerful and can almost be considered a standalone win condition. However, we are adding our own twist to the deck. The idea is to surprise our opponents and force them to waste movement cards to avoid the chaos we are about to unleash on their side. The Firecrab Portkey combo may seem unimpressive initially, but with a stroke of luck, the Firecrab will be ported close to our opponent, inflicting unexpected damage and compelling them to move. The Firecrabs have reduced damage intake when not in combat, making them quite resilient and effective at absorbing some of the opponent's thunderstorm damage. If an enemy enters their range, they unleash area of effect damage to both ground and air targets. Since Firecrabs are stationary, they won't move towards your opponent. This is where Portkey comes into play. It will port anything it touches according to a simple rule. Friendly players are randomly ported to your own half of the field, while friendly summons are ported to a random location on the opponent's half. And here's the trick. We want to stack 2 Firecrabs and then use Portkey to port them both to the opponent's half, unleashing chaos. Completing our win condition is the spell Crucio. In this deck, Crucio can be used more frequently since the opponent is forced to move around the half to avoid Firecrab damage. In doing so, they are likely to enter Crucio's range, and if they try to run away, chances are they run into a Firecrab. The deck also includes the Monster Book of Monsters and the Bombastic Bomb Box. It's usually best to play these cards together to maximize their impact. To handle opponent's summons and control their side of the field, we have Thibaut and Incendio. Last but not least, we include Broomstick. Broomstick works wonders with Bellatrix. You can time the Broomstick with the spawn of your Death Eaters, allowing you to spawn them on the opponent's side of the field. By now you're getting the idea of the deck. We want to spawn and port our summons to the other side while bombarding our opponents with Crucio. In terms of partner cards, we have Cassandra to protect us from early aggression, Ron to clear our side of the field and push everything to the opponent's half, and Ivy, who's here to eliminate unwanted big summons or deal that extra bit of damage to the opponent. And here it is, the deck in all its glory. So sit back, relax and prepare to be entertained by the funniest deck in the game. I absolutely love this deck, it's incredibly fun. However, a word of caution, this is not necessarily a deck for efficient ladder climbing. It's more of an off-meta deck that brings immense enjoyment when it starts to snowball. So we're playing against Yamamoto and we start with a Monster Book of Monsters and our Bombastic Bombs. Opponent used his Nebulous and is getting rid of our bombs. And we get a double Thunderstorm here. We try to get rid of Hermione as fast as possible. We are eating a lot of damage here, but we can't really avoid it. We're trying to save our Cassandra and we were able to port it to the opponent's field, which made it so that the opponent had to use an additional Inflations to get rid of our Cassandra, so it was a positive trade for us in terms of mana. And we were able to avoid this Orb of Water, which was very important for us. And our bombs are almost gone. We were able to deal a little bit of damage to the opponent, which is good. And we're getting another Thunderstorm. And you can see how our Firecrab is actually absorbing a good portion of the damage while still being alive. Now we have our double Firecrab. And we put down Ron. We're getting an Orb of Water here. And we use our Broomstick to spawn the Death Eater on the opponent's field, and it's doing immense damage to the opponent with his Crucio. That was amazing, and that's why we play Broomstick in our deck. We really want to spawn the Death Eaters on the opponent's half. We're using the Portkey here and both Both fire crabs are spawning close to the enemy and are dealing tons of damage. And now we have like a Crucio battle going on. And we dealt tons of damage to our opponent, and you can see now we have the upper hand. And the opponent is unleashing everything they have, and they're doing quite some damage. But I think we already replenished all the movement cards the opponent had, and that's the end of the game. We're playing against Surl. S-U-R-L. I don't know how you would pronounce it. And we start with our monster book. And our opponent gets rid of it fairly quickly with a Pugno. And we do deploy our fire crab next to Cassandra. And we are saving our Cassandra and fire crab with Portos and getting rid as fast as possible of the enemy Hermione. Our opponent is using Orb of Water for both our fire crab and Cassandra, and that was quite effective. However, overall we have right now the damage advantage, which is good, and our bar is almost filled to spawn the first Death Eater. Now we get a Crucio from the enemy. We avoid it by using Broomstick, which is another good use case for Broomstick. And we port away from the Orb of Water, mitigating most of the damage. And our opponent obviously got rid of our Death Eater with a Pugno. Now, enemy puts down Ron. And the Thunderstorm, and an Incendio, so we are getting tons of damage here. So we're deploying our own Ron to try to put the pressure back on the opponent. And also put down a Venom that was completely nowhere close to the opponent. But we somehow managed to almost level again the damage here. Now we Portus away. You could say it, we Portus away, yeah? And we spawned our fire crab on the opponent's field. And it's very close, so you can see we only have 275 HP. But we were able to deploy 2 Death Eaters and they basically finished the job. So aggressive start from our opponent with an Exposer and Expelliarmus and Snowball. So we can assume our opponent is playing Harry Echo with these many low cost spells. Could be wrong, it could also be Hermione. Oh no, it is Harry. Actually, we could just see it. So, very aggressive. Is being able to counter everything we play. So we deploy our Crucio since he was very close to the let's say border. And we were able to deal a little bit of damage at least. And we deployed our first crab that our opponent actually pushed himself to the opponent's half, so he did our job, which is good. Putting our monster book and basically faces death right away. So our opponent already got half of our health, while we only maybe dealt 20 to 25%. So it's not looking good for now. We are missing our T-Bow Assault, and everything we have deployed actually doesn't make much damage. So we're deploying our Ron because we know that Harry is not playing many summons, if any. So we deploy a second crab and our bombs. And now it's the moment where the match is becoming interesting. We are porting our crab, getting it to the opponent's field and unleashing or spawning a Death Eater. Plus casting our own Crucio. Yeah, and now you can see the damage that we dealt in just that short time. Now we put down a monster book we are using our last movement cards to try to avoid the damage coming from our opponent. And we go down with a Crucio, and the Crucio finishes off the job, and we stay with 102 HP. So you can see the potential is very high with this deck. You can do tons of damage in a very short period of time, especially if you manage to deploy your Fire Crab close to your opponent while also spawning the Death Eaters on the opponent's half. And I hope you liked this video. I had tons of fun with it, and catch you in the next one.